All right, back to the debt ceiling now. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy announcing a new plan to raise the debt ceiling by $1.5 trillion, cutting $4.5 trillion in spending over the next 10 years.
And let's bring in a member of the House Appropriations and Rules Committees for reaction, Pennsylvania Congressman Guy Reschenthaler. Congressman, thanks for joining us. Okay, so
Guy.
It is just I know you always say just call me Guy.
Guy.
That's right.
I can't do that. All right, so let's talk about this because McCarthy obviously wanting to cut a lot, even take some of this unused pandemic money. What do Americans need to know about this?
But what Americans really need to know is that the plan that Speaker McCarthy and House Republicans came up with, it's reasonable, it's sensible, it's responsible. Chuck Schumer, on the other hand, has failed to have any plan put into place. He might say he wants a clean debt ceiling. He doesn't have the votes for that, and he knows it. Joe Biden, the oldest man in Washington, D.C., is acting like an absolute petulant child, refusing to negotiate with Speaker McCarthy. So we have an actual plan in place, and this is a good plan. It limits spending, and it takes us just back to FY22 levels, fiscal year 22 levels. It makes sure that we save taxpayers money, and it also makes sure that we grow the economy with pro-energy policies and the REINS Act, which is going to rein in the uncontrollable federal bureaucracy and require congressional approval for anything that is over $100 million that a rogue government agency puts forward. It's going to really help to restore Congress's rightful place, how the framers wanted Congress to be, and it's going to control spending. So I think it's a good plan. I think that we're going to be able to pass this.
Yeah.
And then the onus is on Chuck Schumer to either run this or come up with his own plan.
Okay,
the onus will be
Guy,
on Joe Biden.
let me just jump in because we're tight. Do you think that ultimately Biden McCarthy can work something out, and do you think that Schumer will then play ball?
If we pass this product, which I think we will, if we pass the Limit, Save, and Grow Act, which I think we will next week, it's going to force Biden to negotiate with Speaker McCarthy. And it's going to put pressure on Chuck Schumer to either negotiate, run this bill, or have some other bill that's run that's not a clean debt ceiling raise, which is our ultimate goal. We just want to make sure we have spending reforms if we're going to raise the debt ceiling.
Okay. All right. I do want to move on, sir. Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman returning to Capitol Hill. Take a listen to him yesterday during a subcommittee hearing.
I call to this hearing of the U.S. Senate Subcommittee on Food and Nutrition, Specialty Crops, Organics, and Research to order. Chairwoman Stabenow.
Good morning.
Americans like about Corey Jor from the town of Northeast in Pennsylvania tells me that his victim was skimming.
All right, Congressman, this is hard to watch, and obviously we want him to be healthy and well. Is he fit to serve?
Well, this shows us a lot of things. Number one, it shows us that Democrats will put their radical agenda, their socialist big government agenda, ahead of everything else, above what's best for Senator Fetterman. Clearly, it's not the best thing that he's paraded around, put in public when he's in that condition. Democrats don't care because they need that vote. And they certainly didn't care when they had the choice to nominate Dr. Oz, who was the most articulate candidate. I think he was the future of the Republican Party. They had the choice. He would have been a much better choice for Pennsylvania. But what really scares me about Senator Fetterman is not his current condition. I hope he gets better. What scares me is his far left radical position. This is a guy that campaigned on releasing 1/3 of all inmates in Pennsylvania state prison. This is a guy who wants to ban fracking, who supports the decision to ban the Keystone XL pipeline. It's his policies that scare me more.
Congressman, good to see you. Guy Reschenthaler,
You too,
Pennsylvania.
Rob.
We'll pick this conversation up again soon. Thank you.